Welcome to the Shigeaki Podcast, where modern science meets timeless longevity wisdom. I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, and today I want to start with a quiet question. Have you ever felt like your belly gets bigger, even when your weight doesn't? Maybe your arms and legs are still thin. Maybe the scale hasn't moved. But the waistline, it keeps growing. I recently saw a 68-year-old patient, a retired teacher. Her BMI was perfectly normal, but her belly was firm, swollen, and tight. She said she was eating light walking daily, yet she kept feeling tired, bloated, and mentally foggy. We ran some labs. What we found wasn't surprising, but it was serious. High visceral fat around her organs, rising blood pressure, early insulin resistance, and signs of low-grade chronic inflammation. This wasn't about body fat, it was about internal risk. That's why today's episode isn't just about losing weight. It's about understanding the most dangerous fat you can't see. But I'm not alone in this conversation. To explore this deeper, I want to welcome someone who's spent more than a century observing healthy aging. Firsthand, my dear friend, Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara.
Thank you, Mark. It's an important topic and one that's often misunderstood. In Japan, we don't look at body weight. We look at body balance. A firm, swollen belly in an older adult is not just extra pounds. It's a sign that something in the gut, the liver, or the metabolism is out of harmony. We call it hara, the center of energy and digestion. When the hara is warm and soft, the body is well. When it's cold, hard, or bloated, it tells us that inflammation is building and systems are slowing.
That's what this episode is about. What visceral fat really is, and how it's different from the fat under your skin, why it creates silent inflammation and raises your risk for diabetes, high blood pressure, and even cancer. And most importantly, how one category of traditional food, backed by modern science, can help you burn this deep fat naturally and restore balance from within.
We'll also show you how to combine these foods with teas, sleep, and movement, when to eat them for the best results, and how to start a gentle 7-day plan to reduce inflammation without strict dieting.
So, if you've been wondering why your belly won't budge or why you're feeling older than your age, this episode is for you. Don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the Shigeaki Podcast, and share it with someone over 60 who's trying to slim their belly but hasn't looked below the surface. Let's begin. Let's talk about a kind of fat that most people never see, but that silently puts them at risk every day: visceral fat. Unlike the fat you can pinch on your arms or belly, visceral fat is hidden deep inside the abdomen, wrapped around your liver, pancreas, and intestines. It's not just an issue of appearance, it's a major health warning sign. Excess visceral fat has been linked to type 2 diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, Alzheimer's disease, and even 14 types of cancer, including breast and colon cancer.
In traditional medicine, we call this the hara, the core of your body's fire, your center of digestion and energy. When the belly fire turns to fog, disease comes. We believe a healthy belly should feel warm and balanced, but when it becomes swollen, tight, or cold, it often signals an imbalance in the liver, gut, or metabolism.
And here's the surprising part. You don't have to be overweight to have too much visceral fat. Many of my patients in their 60s and 70s are actually quite slim on the outside. But inside, years of stress, late-night eating, muscle loss, and blood sugar spikes have led to an accumulation of hidden fat around their organs. This fat releases inflammatory chemicals like cytokines that damage tissues, disrupt hormones, and weaken your immune system over time.
That's why in Japan we don't only measure weight, we observe how the belly feels, looks, and moves. If it becomes hard, immobile, or bloated, we treat it as a sign of internal heat trapped without flow.
Visceral fat isn't just extra storage. It's biologically active, constantly sending messages that fuel disease. But the good news? Your body is always trying to heal, and with the right foods, timing, and habits, we can turn off the inflammation and melt this fat from the inside out. Let's find out foods that help burn visceral fat and reduce inflammation. When we talk about food that fights visceral fat, most people think of low-calorie meals or fat-burning supplements. But what actually makes a big difference is your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria inside your digestive system. And few things are better at supporting your gut than fermented vegetables like kimchi miso, natto, and pickled radish. These foods are naturally rich in probiotics, meaning they deliver live beneficial bacteria into your digestive tract. That helps restore microbial balance, reduce intestinal inflammation, and improve how your body breaks down and stores fat.
Yes, in Japanese homes it is common for older adults to begin and end meals with small portions of something fermented. Natto in the morning, miso soup at lunch, pickled daikon at dinner, not as a diet plan but as a daily rhythm. And we don't eat them for the flavor, we eat them to keep the gut warm, active, and protected.
There's even research to back this up. A study in Japan showed that adults who consume natto regularly had lower belly fat and better metabolic markers even without changing their overall diet. It's believed the combination of probiotics vitamin K2 and fermented soy isoflavones help regulate insulin and fat storage.
We say, feed the gut and the body will follow. 1 or 2 tablespoons of fermented vegetables per day is enough to support digestion, reduce inflammation, the hidden fat that blocks your energy.
So, before you think about cutting calories, try adding something fermented to your plate. The change begins in the gut. Next one of the simplest and most powerful tools to reduce visceral fat isn't a pill. It's something many people already have in their kitchen green tea, especially varieties like matcha and sencha, which are rich in a plant compound called EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate. EGCG has been shown to increase fat oxidation, especially around the abdominal area, lower systemic inflammation, and help regulate cortisol, the stress hormone that promotes belly fat storage when it spikes.
In Japan, we don't drink tea only for hydration. We drink tea to restore rhythm, to bring the body out of stress and into flow. A warm cup of matcha in the morning or green tea in the early afternoon signals safety to the body, and when the body feels safe, it stops holding onto fat.
Cortisol is often the missing piece. If you're eating clean but feeling anxious, wired, or sleeping poorly, your body may be stuck in fat storage mode. Green tea helps interrupt that cycle gently.
This is the way to use it. Drink 2 to 3 cups a day. Ideal times after breakfast and again in the early afternoon. Avoid after 4 p.m. since the mild caffeine may interfere with deep sleep. Besides, add a slice of lemon or a few mint leaves for variety, but don't add sugar or milk. Let the tea speak to the body in its natural language.
It's a small habit, but it goes deep, because in the long game of belly fat, lowering inflammation is just as important as cutting calories. When people think of fat-burning foods, they rarely think of fat itself. But omega-3 fatty acids found in foods like salmon, mackerel, flax seeds, and chia are actually one of the most effective tools to fight visceral fat. Here's why omega-3s reduce pro-inflammatory compounds like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. They improve insulin sensitivity and encourage fat burning in both the liver and white fat tissues.
In Japan, elders eat small portions of oily fish regularly, not as a special meal but as a daily rhythm. It supports not only brain clarity but also keeps the belly soft and mobile. We often serve grilled sardines or simmered mackerel with miso broth and radish. These meals are light but deeply nourishing.
Compare that to the average Western diet. Many older Americans eat refined carbs and seed oils, especially from frozen meals, fried foods, and fast food. These oils promote inflammation and store fat around the organs rather than burning it. How to use omega-3 rich foods. Aim for 2 to 3 servings of fatty fish per week. Add ground flaxseed or chia to smoothies, oatmeal, or yogurt. If using supplements, look for high-quality EPA, DHA oils with third-party testing.
We say good oil makes a smooth machine. It's not about avoiding fat. It's about choosing the kind that helps you move inside and out.
Not all carbohydrates are bad, and some, like resistant starch, are actually powerful tools in reducing visceral fat. Unlike typical starches that quickly spike blood sugar, an insulin-resistant starch passes through the small intestine undigested. It acts more like fiber, feeding the good bacteria in your colon, improving gut health, and helping the body burn fat more efficiently. Key sources include cooked and cooled potatoes or sweet potatoes, old-fashioned oats, especially soaked overnight. green bananas, or slightly underripe plantains.
In Japanese homes, we often serve rice that has been cooled and gently rewarmed, especially to elders. It reduces the glycemic load, supports the gut, and keeps energy steady. We say soft starch, strong gut. These foods are not meant to give quick energy. They give long, stable energy, which is essential as we age.
Another benefit: resistant starch helps reduce insulin spikes, which in turn prevents the body from storing fat in the belly area. Studies have shown that when consumed in the morning or at lunch, these foods can help stabilize blood sugar levels throughout the day, reducing cravings and late-night hunger. So, how to use it? Enjoy overnight oats for breakfast with cinnamon and chia. Add a few slices of boiled, cooled sweet potato to your lunch. Snack on green banana slices with nut butter in the afternoon.
These small changes feed the gut, calm the body, and make a big difference not just in how you look, but how you feel.
If we had to choose just one single food that could help reduce visceral fat, lower inflammation, nourish the gut, support the heart, and protect the bones, it would be natto. Natto is fermented soybeans, and while its taste and smell may be strong, its health effects are even stronger. Here's what makes natto so powerful. It's rich in natural probiotics that restore gut microbiome balance. It contains isoflavones, which improve insulin sensitivity and reduce fat accumulation. It's the best natural food source of vitamin K2, which supports bone health and prevents calcium buildup in arteries.
Natto is not just food, it's a cultural prescription. In Japan, many people, especially elders, begin their morning with a small serving of natto. We usually pair it with a soft cooked egg, a little soy sauce, some chopped green onion, and often serve it on cool rice, which adds resistant starch. Sometimes we add shredded seaweed or a drop of rice vinegar to enhance digestion.
The synergy here is incredible. You're getting probiotics, prebiotics, plant-based protein, and inflammation-reducing compounds all in one small bowl. And because it's fermented, it's also easier to digest for those who have trouble with regular soy. Several Japanese studies have linked regular natto intake with lower waist circumference, improved cholesterol profiles, and reduced risk of heart disease and osteoporosis in older adults. How to use natto wisely. Eat it 3 to 4 times per week, preferably at breakfast. Best paired with cool or room temperature rice, resistant starch, seaweed egg, or even a few drops of lemon or vinegar. Stir well before, eating traditionally at least 20 times to activate its sticky enzymes.
We don't eat natto for weight loss. We eat it to feel light, calm, and focused, and as a quiet daily act of care for the organs we cannot see.
If you're over 60 and struggling with belly fat or chronic inflammation, natto might be the gentlest, most natural way to begin healing from the inside out. We often talk about what to eat, but for visceral fat, that deep, dangerous fat that wraps around your organs, when and how you eat is just as critical. One thing I've seen again and again in older adults: people eat light, but they start the day with sweet bread, fruit juice, or coffee with sugar. It sounds harmless, but those simple carbohydrates spike insulin, promote fat storage, and leave the body craving more by mid-morning. Here's a more effective approach. Focus every meal on 3 key elements: a probiotic food like fermented vegetables or natto, a healthy fat like egg yolk, avocado, or fatty fish, a slow-digesting starch like cooled rice oats or root vegetables. This combination keeps your blood sugar steady, reduces inflammation, and signals the body to burn, not store fat.
In Japan, we don't talk about breakfast foods or diets. We talk about rhythm. There's a saying in our tradition: breakfast sets the fire, lunch balances it, dinner lets it cool. This rhythm isn't just poetic, it's metabolic. It respects the body's natural curve of cortisol, insulin, and digestion throughout the day. Dinner should calm the system, not challenge it. After 60, digestion slows in the evening, so keep your dinner warm, light, and easy to process.
One more crucial tip for visceral fat loss: stop eating after 7 p.m. Your body needs time overnight to repair, regulate hormones, and process what you ate during the day. Late-night eating, especially sugars and snacks, raises cortisol, disrupts melatonin, and tells your liver to store fat instead of detoxifying.
Between meals, we often sip warm green tea, roasted barley tea, or oolong. Never ice water, never soda. Liquid should support the digestion, not distract it.
What I love about this style of eating is that it's not restrictive, it's intentional. It gives your body what it needs at the time it needs it.
There is no need for perfection, but if you follow this rhythm probiotic in the morning, balance at midday, calm at night, your belly will soften, your energy will rise, and your inflammation will fall.
This is how we eat to age well, not to lose pounds, but to gain life. Next, the question that arises here is, what happens after 10 days? 10 days. It may not sound like much, but when you reduce inflammatory foods and support your gut and metabolism, the body responds quickly. I recently had a 65-year-old patient who tried this exact approach. Removed fried snacks and evening sweets, added natto in the morning, green tea after lunch, and grilled salmon at dinner. She didn't change her calorie intake or activity level, but in just 10 days she noticed 2 centimeters off her waistline, fewer sugar cravings, deeper uninterrupted sleep, and a lighter, clearer feeling every morning. And interestingly, her weight didn't change, but her body composition did. Her belly was less bloated, less firm, less inflamed.
Yes, the belly often changes before the scale does. We say, the belly doesn't lie. When it softens, the heart feels lighter too. You may notice less tightness in the waistband after meals, improved digestion, less gas, less heaviness, more stable blood sugar, no more energy crashes at 3 p.m., waking up earlier without needing coffee to function.
And let's be clear, this isn't magic. It's simply the natural result of removing silent disruptors and adding foods that speak the language of healing. The gut calms. The liver functions better. Insulin becomes more sensitive. And inflammation markers like CRP and IL-6 begin to drop.
In Japanese medicine, when the hara core feels soft and warm, it means the inner organs are no longer in distress. The person sleeps more deeply, thinks more clearly, and begins to move not out of force, but out of vitality.
You don't need to wait months. In 10 days, your body can show you a new direction. Not through a dramatic transformation, but through small signs of balance returning. We've talked a lot today about visceral fat, this silent hidden layer that affects your heart-brain metabolism and even cancer risk. But I want to leave you with something simple. Don't chase weight. Chase inflammation. When you reduce inflammation, the belly will follow. You don't need to starve yourself. You don't need to spend hours exercising. You need to make informed choices, small daily adjustments that shift your body back into healing mode. Here's a 7-day experiment we recommend to all our patients. Each day for the next 7 days, remove one inflammatory food like sweet pastries, deep-fried snacks, or processed meats. Add one healing food, such as a small bowl of natto, a cup of green tea, or a serving of oily fish. Then observe.
We say in Japan, eat with intention, not habit. Most people eat what they're used to, not what their body truly needs. So during this 7-day challenge, I invite you to become more aware. Notice your hunger between meals. Is it real hunger or sugar craving? Observe your sleep quality. Are you falling asleep faster? Waking up fewer times? Check your morning energy. Do you feel lighter, more focused?
Even small shifts in digestion, sleep, and mood are signs that your body is responding. Don't expect perfection. Look for progress.
If your belly has been stuck for years, don't try to lose it overnight. Instead, change what the belly is being told with food, with timing, and with care.
Visceral fat is not a cosmetic issue. It's a metabolic message. Let's respond with kindness, knowledge, and consistency, not shame or restriction. If this episode helped you rethink your approach to belly fat, please like this episode, subscribe to the Shigeaki Podcast. Share it with someone who's struggling with belly fat but hasn't known where to start.